We're standing in a woodland in the cross timber forest, and Dwayne, it hasn't always actually looked like this here.
Yeah, so historically, a lot of our forests in Oklahoma were open with lots of sunlight coming through the canopy and a lot of herbaceous, grasses and flowering plants. But because of fire suppression primarily, a lot of those forests closed in. And so now if you drive through, most of the central part of the state, you'll see lots of shade and not a lot of plants in the understory.
So you have actually had some research here for the past couple of years of thinning this out, doing some fire suppression. But why is it important to actually do this?
So there's a lot of plants and wildlife species that need sunlight in these forests. So thinning the overstory and getting more sunlight on the forest floor can really change what plants and animals are going to be on that site. But it also has a lot of use for landowners that might want to have a different type of forest on their property.
So what type of uses would that be?
Well, we could actually graze this now if you're a livestock producer, whereas before, when it was mostly shaded, there's no way anybody would have had cows on this site. There's probably 100 pounds of cattle forage per acre at best, whereas now, we're at least an order of magnitude higher. So these are grazable acres. Also, from a hunting standpoint, the deer and the turkey habitat has increased tremendously, so there's a lot more potential for game species that people might be interested in. And there's also the aesthetics. Research has shown that most people prefer kind of an open forest where they can see, for great distances. So it even has some aesthetic value just around your property.
So, and what's so interesting is over the years, we've shot with you in this area quite a few times, and you've actually shown our viewers how to thin out a really thick forested area. But this is now what it looks like, and it's pretty amazing to see just the growth and the openness and how much sunlight's coming through.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having forests that are closed canopy and shaded, but we have a lot of forests like that in Oklahoma. We don't have a lot of forests that look like this. And if you're interested in, turkey, deer, cattle grazing, or butterflies, there's all kinds of pollinating insects flying around in this area because now we have flowering plants. So this has a lot of value, and it's maybe something, a landowner should consider if they would like to implement on their property.
And also, I think it's also important with eastern red cedar, because in this area, as we talked about in the past, eastern red cedar was a huge problem with this.
Yeah, if you thin the overstory and then don't burn, it's just going to come back in eastern red cedar. So before you do that initial thinning, you have to make sure that you're able and willing to use periodic prescribed fire. But if you can, you can have tremendous benefits from wildlife and also a livestock production standpoint.
All righty, Dwayne. Dwayne Elmore, Extension Wildlife Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.